Do you wear an armor? And did you know that by wearing one, you actually might be blocking love, people, and even yourself? Midlife butterfly, a woman in the sacred in-between. She's not who she once was, and not quite who she's becoming yet. She's unraveling, awakening, remembering. She's navigating life transitions, divorce, loss, reinvention, moves, with a burning desire for freedom, joy, and soul-led living. She feels a pull to rise, to fly. She is no longer afraid of her own wings. Welcome back to the Midlife Butterfly podcast. My name is Kenna Hugh, your host. And this is going to be a powerful message for you. I just realized yesterday how a version of me was still believing and needed to protect me from being used. And by doing that, I also block my capacity to receive. And even when I'm still feeling the vulnerability of my heart by realizing this hidden pain, because that's really what it was in there, I cried over, it cracked open, and then a lot of anger came through. And, that's part of the healing process. So that's what I want to share with you. Because you might have an armor or several of them, either if you're creating them consciously or unconsciously, and it's to protect yourself from being hurt. And that's normal. We don't want to feel hurt. And then the armor or armors that we create, they are emotional, they are energetic, but they're still there. And because we are energy, everything is energy, of course we get to block that flow of energy to come through us. And the breakthrough that I went through, it was by noticing my behavior. And then when I start journaling is when I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is what's happening, is when I realized that it was me feeling used. And in this case was by men. And it was eye-opening for me. And at the same time, it's so healing and so liberating. So I noticed my behavior by, so I met a person a couple of months ago, and I finally felt inspired to, send him a text. I said, okay, let's go for coffee, for tea. And so we did. And I made it clear since the beginning that I just wanted to have, friendship. He's much older than me. And, but, the short conversation that we have at that very moment, it felt good and the energy felt good. And by noticing my behavior with him when he was texting me or when I was in his presence, it's when I noticed how my behavior was being there. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm really like putting a wall in here. It was not even a boundary. It really felt more than that. I really didn't realize that I was carrying a shield with me, when it comes to men. Not with all of them, because I have great male friends, but it seems like it showed up with some people and more when they are still kind of unknown to me, that I, just the beginning of a relationship. And even though when they show up with clear intentions, and they are respectful and everything, I'm still putting this armor in between to protect myself. And so last night when I was reflecting about it, then that's what I love about journaling, because once I start journaling, I just have these what the fuck moments, really, that noticing why this armor was built. So I started writing down, the name of a person and then the situation that happened and then how I felt at that moment. And then another person, and another person. And that's how I realized that by writing down all these relevant memories that it came to mind, it's when I really noticed, and then when I kind of felt that crack in my heart and saying, yeah, I felt used by them. Even though in some cases probably was not the case, but it was how we interpret things at a certain moment, right? So then I started realizing, okay, which were my patterns at the time? How was my behavior? And there was so much sorrow, and at the same time, there was so much anger when I felt that crack in the armor, like saying, you don't need me anymore because you are safe. Because the truth is, it's not only showed up, with certain men, again, kind of like a new relationships, what will happen is also, it's me when I want to open up to my friendships or, getting new clients or new opportunities. And because I remember, like, I used to struggle to receive compliments. I used to struggle and still kind of like, in the age in there of asking for help. So what are you trying to protect yourself from, that you are blocking yourself from that flow of energy, of being open, of receiving others? And not only others, but yourself. And the thing is, if we are not open to receive ourselves, nobody else is going to do it. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but that's the truth. How can we expect others to do something for us if we don't do it for ourselves? That's the way the laws are made. And this is not about, blaming man or blaming the other person or whatever it is that might had happened to you. It's about really witnessing the version of you that believed that it had to protect yourself from that danger. And then realizing also how that belief still shaped your actions and reactions with others. Because the armor sometimes it can look like strength. And the reality is that it's a fear in disguise. Have you experienced someone when they are very loud? It's usually because they are freaking afraid or something. And by raising their voice, they are creating authority. and they are protecting, well, authority between quotes, they are actually protecting themselves from whatever other people can tell them and that can break them and put them on the floor, right? So how, or better say, like, what kind of armors have you created? One of them is the overgiver armor. And I know a lot of women and men as well, we can relate to this one because the overgiver, I see it as the people pleaser. You know, you do everything from everyone, so they don't leave you, so they love you, so do you get rejected, so you don't feel abandonment. You know, you are always on something and managing and fixing and caretaking and doing everything for everyone. And at the same time, unfortunately, you might feel some resentment or you might feel drained because you can't stop giving, but it's really that wound that you have that has to be healed. Is it the wound of rejection, of abandonment, of not being enough, of not feeling loved? What is the wound under it that he created this armor of overgiving? And the thing is, when you are doing that, at the same time, you're blocking yourself from receiving. And the law says that giving and receiving has to be in flow. Other way, it doesn't work properly. You need to fill up your cup first to be able to give from a place of love and abundance, instead of having a freaking empty cup and giving from resentment and scarcity. Have you probably built the armor of being strong and independent and saying, I don't need anyone? That's a freaking lie. We always need from people around us. You know? I mean, we can be hyper independent and you can pride that you are super cool with only on your own. But we really need help from others. We do. And let me tell you, after I separated during COVID, and then I changed to a new place, that I was receiving the less amount of money ever, I didn't have another option that freaking put myself on my knees and say, I am receiving. Even when it felt so freaking uncomfortable and when it felt that I didn't deserve it, I needed to bend myself and say, yes, I do need help from other people. So then don't complain if you don't feel seen and supported. If you have created that armor of strength and independence, then you are blocking people and you are causing that effect of feeling unseen and unsupported. I've been there and I'm still sometimes do that. So then don't dare to say, oh no, they don't see me, they don't support me. Well, what are you doing that you are blocking that flow? And I think in here also it comes the freaking control freak. Isn't it? We don't want help because we want to create things in our own way and it has to be so perfect and beautiful and whatever other idea you have in your head, and of course, no one else is able to do it that way. So it has to be your way. And I'm not only talking to you, I'm talking to myself. If I'm putting it out there, it's because these words, I need to listen to these words too. Have you ever worn the spiritual armor? I remember I did when I started my spiritual journey. You know, sometimes we believe like, oh no, I already healed this and I only going to focus on the light and the positive. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's good to just focus on that. Why I want to, focus on the darkness. But the thing is, we are humans. We have a light side, we have a dark side, and we all have these emotions that are always flowing through us. And the only way to heal is by processing those emotions. So if some people, or if you are in this case, wearing this spiritual armor and don't want to process your emotions, most likely you are just kind of like bypassing your trauma. And that's not the way to do the inner work. Because if you are in this podcast listening to it, I want to think that you, besides listening to content and consuming content, not only from podcasts, but from books, programs and stuff, I really hope that you are one of those people who implement and integrate the teachings that you receive. Because if you don't, you're never going to move forward. You are never going to heal. You're never going to grow and evolve as a human being. What about the invisible armor? Oh my God. I wear this one so often. Well, now not that often, but it's the one that it says, oh, if they don't notice me, they can't hurt me. And then what happens? You hide your gifts. You avoid to be invisible because you don't want to be misunderstood or judged or rejected, like in my case. We rather stay on the shadow, being invisible. Nobody sees me, so nobody can hurt me. But that's not the way we are built. We are here to be loved, to be loved. We are here for community, for expression, for creativity. And even when we get to, create and everything for our own sake, on well-being and satisfaction, when we get to share it, it feels good. What do you think I'm here? This is one of the reasons I am here. And it's so satisfying. And it doesn't matter really what you may think. This is just my message. This is just my words putting out there. And hopefully it will inspire you. So crack that invisible armor. Start owning your voice. Start owning your desires. Start owning and building the dreams. You are more than worthy to do that. Just by being, you are worthy to do, to be, and have whatever you want. I invite you to pause and ask yourself, really ask yourself, am I wearing an armor? What kind of armor is it? How am I trying to protect myself that I'm wearing this armor? Again, the armor is there to protect you from pain, but it also protects you from love, from clients, from family, from friends, from creating new relationships, from money, from abundance, from magic, from everything. Because when we wear an armor, we're in protection, not on reception. So, is there a place in your life where you said, I'm open, but your heart still guarded? Pause this if you want. I invite you to reflect. I invite you to go within, because all the answers are there. All of them. And it's not that you need to drop the armor all at once. No. Healing has a lot of layers. It's like an onion. But probably at least you can loosen one trap today, one at a time. I don't know what you've been through. You are the only one who knows what you've been through. So you can check with your body how to proceed. What is your body open at this very moment to heal? Your armor may have many straps. I don't know. My invitation for you is to take the time to feel it. To wonder. To ask it, what are you trying to protect me from? And journal about it. The answers are within. And when we put them into paper, unconscious answers are written in there. And oh, woman, many of those are gold. So let your pen fly. That's what I can say. Ah. And I think one of the things that we gotta differentiate, that what thing is to create, the armor that you might be wearing now, and then by then just creating a wall instead of just setting boundaries and using our discernment. Because safety itself is created inside your body. So it's about self-regulating your nervous system. And it's about practicing emotional intelligence and having mindset practices that it can help you heal your wounds, your trauma, that is not allowing you to feel safe within. And I want you also to remind you that we can be soft and powerful at the same time. You can allow yourself to receive, and you can protect yourself by speaking your truth, by being your truth. Yeah, I'm creating this space for you of stillness. Just pausing here. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Can you feel the armor or armors that you are wearing? Can you ask it, what are you protecting me from? And I welcome your protection. And I do peace with you. And at the same time, I want you to know that I am safe. I am safe to receive love, compliments, help, nourishment, support, abundance. So journal about it. Please do so. And even when I felt some anger after I realized the armor that I was wearing, I just took the time to process it. I cried about it. I felt the emotion in my body, and that's the way how I released it. Because remember that you are wearing that armor because you were hurt. And now that you make it conscious, it's up to you to do the inner work and heal it. It is your choice. It's up to you. Because remember that this is a journey. And self-discovery and doing the inner work, it's a never ending. I mean, once you start being more aware, and then once you start in this process and noticing how by working in your trauma and healing your wounds and shifting your mindset and like how you can feel the shifts in body, mind, and soul, it's a never ending because it's so freaking exciting. Yeah, it's challenging. It's freaking challenging. It is. Because it's about taking responsibility for yourself. And in that responsibility comes the processing of your emotions. And unfortunately, we were not taught how to process our emotions. And it's the only way you can start removing the straps of the armor or the armors that you are wearing. And this is the work that I get to do on myself. And this is the work that I get to guide my clients with, to go deeper into that self-discovery, to feel better, to live better lives, to create better relationships, to improve your current relationships, starting with the self. And by doing so, your whole life shifts. He's so beautiful. That's why the butterflies are here. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it. I'm sure that you have a sister, you have a brother who might be armor up and not even know it. I didn't know it. So let's rise into softness, into power and truth together and as a collective, right? Much love to you as usual. And if you would like to work with me, in the show notes, you have the links of the different coaching services that I offer. And I even have mini coaching sessions and online programs that you can take at your own pace. So feel free to check them out. I will be more than happy to be able to support you in this journey. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning into Midlife Butterfly. If this episode lit a spark in you, hit that subscribe or follow button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to listen, so you'll never miss the magic. If you're feeling generous, drop a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps this empowering content reach more souls ready to transform their lives. And don't forget to take a photo of you while listening and share it on your socials. You can tag me at KenAsYou so I can celebrate you and your expansion. Until next time, keep spreading those wings and living in joy, growth, and pleasure.